The diplomatic dance. Sonya Novak had seen her share of unusual assignments during her decade with Earth's diplomatic security force, but nothing quite prepared her for the sight of Princess Zora Killary floating 3 feet off the ground, surrounded by swirling particles of light that danced like fireflies around her crystalline form. Impressive, she admitted. I wasn't aware Etherian royalty trained in combat. There's quite a lot you don't know about me. Zora's crystalline form sparkled with post-battle energy. Though I look forward to changing that, my intriguing human guardian. As Sonya began her incident report, she couldn't shake the feeling that guarding Princess Zora would prove to be the most challenging, and possibly most dangerous, assignment of her career. Not because of external threats, but because with each passing moment, her carefully maintained protocols were crumbling in the face of an alien princess who seemed determined to see them shattered completely. Your security protocols are adorably primitive, the Etherian princess announced, her voice carrying the distinctive musical undertones of her species. The floating particles pulsed in sync with her words, casting rainbow shadows across the embassy's marble floors. Sonya maintained her professional composure, though her hand instinctively stayed near her quantum disruptor. With respect, Your Highness, those primitive protocols have prevented 3 assassination attempts this month alone. Ah yes, the infamous efficiency of human guards. Princess Zora descended gracefully, her crystalline skin refracting light in mesmerizing patterns. Though I wonder if your species' reputation for effectiveness comes at the cost of flexibility. The way she said flexibility made Sonya's spine tingle, but she'd been trained too well to let it show. My flexibility isn't relevant to your safety, Your Highness. The upcoming peace summit. Call me Zora. The princess interrupted, gliding closer. All this formality makes my crystals ache. Protocol dictates. Protocol. Zora's laugh sounded like wind chimes in a summer breeze. You humans and your endless protocols. Did you know that in Etherian culture, it's considered an insult to maintain such rigid barriers between bonded pairs? Sonya blinked. Bonded pairs. Guard and ward, protector and protected. Zora's crystalline fingers brushed Sonya's arm, sending an electric tingle through her uniform. We believe true security can only come through genuine connection. That's... Sonya swallowed hard, fighting the urge to step back. That's not how we do things on Earth. Perhaps that's exactly why I requested a human guard. Zora's eyes, faceted like diamonds but warm as summer sunlight, met Sonya's. Your species fascinates me. So young, yet you've achieved so much. So bound by rules, yet capable of such remarkable adaptability. Warning bells rang in Sonya's mind. She'd been briefed about the legendary Etherian ability to enthrall through prolonged eye contact. She broke away, scanning the room's security perimeter instead. The summit begins in 3 days. Your High, Princess Zora. There are credible threats from multiple factions opposed to the peace treaty. Yes, yes, the eternal dance of politics. Zora waved a crystalline hand dismissively, sending ripples of light across the walls. But tell me, Sonya Novak, what do you think of the treaty itself? The question caught her off guard. Guards weren't supposed to have opinions on diplomatic matters. My thoughts are irrelevant. Everything about you is relevant. Zora's voice dropped to an intimate whisper. Did you know that Etherians can sense emotional resonance? Your species gives off the most fascinating patterns, particularly when you're trying to hide something. Sonya felt heat rise in her cheeks. Your Highness. There you go again, retreating behind formality. Zora sighed, her crystalline form dimming slightly. Very well. Maintain your protocols. But know this, Sonya Novak. Before these negotiations are done, I intend to see what lies beneath that carefully constructed armor of yours. Before Sonya could respond, alarms blared throughout the embassy. Her tactical display lit up with multiple security breaches. Stay behind me, she ordered, drawing her weapon. But Zora was already moving, her crystalline form pulsing with combat energy. Together, the princess corrected, as hostile forces breached the chamber. After all, what better way to test our compatibility? The fight that followed would change everything, not just for them, but for the future of human-Aetherian relations. Though at that moment, as Sonia found herself fighting back-to-back with a crystalline princess who kept flirting while deflecting energy blasts, all she could think was that her combat training had definitely not covered this scenario. The attackers never stood a chance. Between Sonia's tactical precision and Zora's Aetherian combat arts, the skirmish ended almost as quickly as it began. As security teams swept the area, Sonia found herself studying the princess with new appreciation. Impressive, she admitted. I wasn't aware Aetherian royalty trained in combat. There's quite a lot you don't know about me. Zora's crystalline form sparkled with post-battle energy. Though I look forward to changing that, my intriguing human guardian. As Sonia began her incident report, she couldn't shake the feeling that guarding Princess Zora would prove to be the most challenging, and possibly most dangerous, assignment of her career. Not because of external threats, but because with each passing moment, her carefully maintained protocols were crumbling in the face of an alien princess who seemed determined to see them shattered completely. The aftermath of the attack brought more complications than Sonia had anticipated. Standing in the embassy's secure command center, she watched holographic replays of the incident while Princess Zora hovered nearby, literally glowing with amusement. Your security chief seems quite agitated, Zora observed as Commander Roland paced the room, his cybernetic eye whirring with analysis protocols. 3 breaches of our quantum barriers in under 2 minutes. Roland's voice carried the edge of someone questioning everything they thought they knew. That's not just impossible. It's physically impossible. Only if you limit yourself to human physics. Zora chimed in, her crystalline form casting prismatic patterns across the tactical displays. The universe holds far more mysteries than your science has catalogued. Sonia noticed the slight dimming of Zora's usual radiance as she spoke, a tell she'd begun recognizing as indication of withheld information. You know something about how they did it. It wasn't a question. Zora's eyes met hers, and Sonia felt that now familiar tingle of connection. Clever human. Yes, I suspect I do. But sharing that information would violate several ancient Aetherian taboos. With respect, Princess, Roland interrupted, if there's a vulnerability in our defenses. Oh, there isn't. Zora waved a crystalline hand dismissively. At least, not one that anyone but an Aetherian royal could exploit, which makes this attack particularly interesting. Sonia's tactical mind clicked pieces into place. You think someone in your court is involved? I think, Zora said carefully, floating closer to Sonia, that certain elements of my society are less enthusiastic about this peace summit than others, particularly about the possibility of sharing our quantum manipulation technologies with humans. And these elements would risk assassinating you to prevent it, Roland demanded. Zora's laugh tinkled like breaking crystal. Assassinate me? Oh no, Commander. This wasn't an assassination attempt. Her eyes found Sonia's again. This was a test. Later, in Zora's private chambers, Sonia tried to make sense of it all while maintaining her professional distance, a task made significantly harder by the princess's persistent disregard for personal space. Your biosignatures spike so beautifully when you're puzzling something out, Zora observed, lounging in midair. Share your thoughts. The attackers, Sonia began, careful to keep her eyes on her tactical display, rather than the mesmerizing way Zora's crystalline form caught the light. They weren't trying to reach you. They were testing our combined response. Our compatibility, Zora corrected. Tell me, did your combat training cover the concept of quantum resonance? That's classified Aetherian technology. And yet, Zora floated closer during the battle. You moved in perfect synchronization with my energy patterns, almost as if. As if what? As if we were entangled. The words carried weight beyond their simple meaning. It shouldn't be possible, you know. Humans aren't supposed to be capable of quantum attunement with our species. And yet, she reached out, her crystalline fingers nearly touching Sonia's cheek. The air between them crackled with visible energy. "Don't," Sonia whispered, though she couldn't have said if she was warning Zara or herself. "Your protocols again." Zara's voice held a hint of challenge. "Or are you afraid of what might happen if we complete the connection that's already forming?" Before Sonia could respond, her tactical display erupted with alerts. Multiple unauthorized quantum signatures, converging on their location. "Well," Zara said, her form brightening with combat energy, "it seems someone else is interested in our potential connection as well." This time, the attackers came prepared. Quantum disruptors filled the air with reality warping fields, making conventional combat nearly impossible. Sonia's training screamed at her to maintain distance, to rely on proven tactics. Instead, she found herself reaching for Zora's outstretched hand. The moment their fingers touched, the world changed. Sonia felt her consciousness expand, merge, intertwine with Zora's quantum field. They moved as one, human tactical precision blending seamlessly with Aetherian energy manipulation. The attackers never stood a chance. When it was over, Sonia stood trembling, overwhelmed by lingering sensations she had no context for. Zara steadied her, the princess's usual playfulness replaced by something deeper, more serious. "Well," Zara said softly, "that answers that question." "What question?" Sonia managed, still trying to process what had happened. Whether humans and Aetherians could truly bond. Zara's form pulsed with emotion. "The conservatives in my court feared it was possible. That's why they're so desperate to stop these peace talks. Because if humans can achieve quantum resonance with us, everything changes," Sonia finished, understanding dawning. The power balance, the technological advantages, the social structures. Indeed, Zara's fingers were still intertwined with hers, sending shivers of quantum energy through her nervous system. "Though I must admit, their opposition has given me something rather precious." "What's that?" Zara's smile was like sunlight through crystal. "A perfectly legitimate reason to spend more time exploring this fascinating connection with my equally fascinating human guardian." As Sonia began composing her report on the incident, carefully omitting certain details about quantum resonance and lingering sensations, she couldn't shake the feeling that she'd just crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. The real question was, had she just compromised everything she'd been trained for, or had she stumbled into something far more important than mere protocol? The answer, she suspected, would change far more than just her assignment. The emergency session of the Aetherian High Council materialized in the embassy's quantum conference chamber, their crystalline forms shimming into existence like stars emerging from behind clouds. Sonia stood at attention behind Princess Zora, trying to ignore the lingering resonance between them that made every movement feel like a dance on the edge of protocol. "Unprecedented," declared First Minister Vex, his ancient crystalline form refracting light in complex patterns of disapproval. "A human achieving quantum resonance with an Aetherian royal. The implications are disturbing." "I find them fascinating," Zora countered, her own form pulsing with barely contained emotion. "For centuries, we've claimed humans were too primitive for true quantum attunement. Perhaps it's time we questioned our assumptions." "Or questioned your judgment," another council member interjected. "Your interest in human culture is well documented, Princess, but this goes beyond mere curiosity." Sonia maintained her professional stance, though she felt Zora's indignation through their newfound connection. The princess rose, literally glowing with intensity. "My judgment. While conservative elements in our court orchestrate attacks to prevent progress, you question my judgment." Light rippled across her crystalline surface. "Tell me, honored council, why does the possibility of human quantum compatibility frighten you so?" "We are not frightened," Vex insisted, though his form dimmed slightly. "We are concerned. The Peace Summit approaches, and instead of focusing on traditional alliance protocols, you're engaging in dangerous experiments with human resonance. Traditional protocols haven't prevented 3 wars in the last century." Zara shot back. "Perhaps it's time for new approaches." The council chambers erupted in argument, crystalline voices creating harmonics that made Sonia's teeth ache. Through it all, she felt Zora's growing frustration, saw the way the princess's light patterns shifted toward combat frequencies. Breathe, Sonia projected through their connection, surprising herself. Zora's form steadied, drawing strength from their resonance. The human presumes to influence royal behavior, one council member noted with alarm. This is precisely what we feared. The human, Zora's voice cut through the chamber like a laser, has shown more wisdom and adaptability than this entire council. Our civilization achieved quantum consciousness 10,000 years ago, yet we cling to outdated notions of species superiority. There are things you don't understand, Princess, Vex said quietly. Ancient prophecies. Prophecies. Zora laughed, the sound like breaking crystal. While you obsess over cryptic predictions, the galaxy changes around us. Humans have achieved in centuries what took us millennia. They don't wait for prophecies. They make their own destiny. The council chambers fell silent. Sonia felt the weight of ancient crystalline gazes upon her, measuring, judging. Then a new figure materialized. The quantum oracle herself, her form so pure it was almost painful to look at. The prophecies speak of change. The oracle's voice resonated through multiple dimensions, of barriers broken and powers shared. But they do not specify whether this change brings harmony or destruction. With respect, Sonia found herself speaking. Protocol forgotten in the face of destiny. Maybe that's up to us to decide. The oracle's multidimensional attention focused on her. The human speaks truth without knowing its depth. The prophecies are not predetermined paths, but possibilities. Princess Zora's resonance with this human opens doors long thought sealed. Doors that should remain sealed, Vex insisted. The Peace Summit must focus on traditional alliances, not experimental quantum bonds. The summit, Zora declared, reaching for Sonia's hand in full view of the council, will acknowledge reality. Humans and Aetherians can achieve true quantum resonance. Any peace that ignores this truth is built on illusion. The moment their fingers touched, energy cascaded through the chamber. Council members recoiled as human and Aetherian quantum fields synchronized, creating patterns of light never before seen in the ancient chambers. Fascinating, the oracle whispered. The prophecies speak of a joining of unlike minds, of new harmonies born from discord. Perhaps. Enough. Vex's form pulsed with emergency frequencies. Princess Zora, you are hereby ordered to cease all quantum contact with humans until after the summit. Guard Novak, you will be reassigned. No. Zora's response carried the weight of royal authority. I am heir to the quantum throne. You cannot order me to deny truth, nor can you separate me from my chosen resonance partner. Then you leave us no choice. Vex's form shifted to formal proclamation patterns. By authority of the High Council, Princess Zora is confined to the embassy until the summit. Her quantum abilities will be suppressed for the safety of all. The suppression field hit before either of them could react. Zora's crystalline form dimmed, her connection to the quantum realm severed. But their personal resonance, that impossible human Aetherian bridge, remained. As council members vanished and containment protocols engaged, Sonia caught Zora before she could fall. The princess's usually bright form was muted, but her eyes still held that familiar mischievous spark. Well, Zora whispered, it seems we've managed to cause quite the diplomatic incident. I should have maintained better protocols, Sonia began, but Zora pressed a crystalline finger to her lips. You did exactly what I hoped you would do, she said softly. You proved that humans and Aetherians can connect on the deepest level. Now we just have to survive long enough to prove that this connection can bring peace instead of fear. As embassy alarms blared and security teams mobilized, Sonia held her quantum-suppressed princess and realized that protocol had never prepared her for this. The moment when doing the right thing meant breaking every rule in the book. The Peace Summit was 3 days away. They had until then to either change everything or lose everything. No pressure. Time moved strangely in the quantum-suppressed embassy chambers. Sonia had spent the last 48 hours watching Zara alternate between regal defiance and genuine vulnerability, all while their unexplainable resonance continued to strengthen despite the dampening fields. "Tell me about Earth's stars," Zara requested, lying with her head in Sonia's lap, a position that would have scandalized the High Council even more than their quantum bond. Her crystalline form was still dimmed, but she'd discovered that physical contact with Sonia helped stabilize her energy patterns. "You've seen Earth's stars," Sonia pointed out, trying to maintain some semblance of professional distance, even as her fingers traced patterns on Zara's crystalline shoulder. "I've seen them through stellar charts and quantum scans. Tell me how they look to human eyes." The request carried deeper meaning. A princess of living crystal asking to understand a more limited perspective. Sonia closed her eyes, remembering. "They're distant, mysterious. When I was a child in Siberia, the winter nights were so clear you could see the Milky Way like a river of light. My father said." She caught herself, protocol screaming about sharing personal information. "Go on," Zora encouraged softly. "Tell me about the human who taught you to look up at stars you couldn't fully see." Before Sonia could respond, the chamber's quantum barriers fluctuated. Commander Roland materialized, his cybernetic eye whirring with agitation. "We have a situation," he announced, pointedly not commenting on their intimate position. "The Aetherian royal fleet just quantum jumped into Earth orbit. They're demanding the princess's return." Zara sat up, her form brightening slightly with alarm. "The summit isn't for another day. The fleet's presence violates 17 different treaties. They're claiming emergency protocols, something about protecting the royal bloodline from quantum contamination." Contamination. Sonia felt Zara's surge of anger through their bond. They dare call this contamination. She stood, drawing on Sonia's energy through their resonance to stabilize herself against the suppression field. "Commander, I need to address the Earth Defense Council immediately. Your Highness, the High Council has revoked your diplomatic status. Any transmission from you would be exactly what we need." Zara's eyes met Sonia's. "It's time to show everyone exactly what human Aetherian cooperation looks like." The next hour was controlled chaos. While Roland reluctantly arranged the quantum conference, Sonia helped Zora prepare, their resonance allowing them to move in perfect synchronization despite the suppression field. "You understand what this means?" Zara asked as they waited for the connection. "Best case scenario, I'm renouncing my claim to the quantum throne. Worst case, we trigger an interstellar war." Sonia squared her shoulders. "But letting them suppress this discovery would lead to war eventually anyway." Zara's smile was like starlight through crystal. "And they say humans don't understand quantum probabilities." The quantum conference materialized. Earth's Defense Council, the Aetherian High Council, and representatives from a dozen allied species. First Minister Vex's form pulsed with outrage. "Princess Zara, stand down immediately. The fleet stands ready to extract you from human influence." Influence. Zara's laugh carried harmonic overtones that made the quantum space ripple. "Let me show you influence." She reached for Sonia's hand. The moment they connected, their combined quantum field manifested visibly. Gasps echoed across multiple dimensions as human and Aetherian energy patterns danced together in impossible harmony. "Impossible," someone whispered. "The suppression field hasn't affected our resonance at all," Zara declared. "Because this isn't about quantum manipulation or technological advancement. This is about connection, understanding. The very things these peace talks are supposed to achieve." The prophecies, the quantum oracle materialized, her pure form analyzing their combined energy patterns. They spoke of a bridge between stars, a harmony born of discord. "The prophecies be damned," Vex thundered. "This human has corrupted royal quantum patterns. The fleet will extract the princess and end this aberration. The fleet," a new voice cut in, "will stand down immediately." All attention turned to the new arrival. Admiral Helena Wong of Earth's Defense Force, her hologram radiating calm authority. The presence of an Aetherian battle fleet in Earth orbit constitutes an act of war, she continued. However, we're willing to overlook this breach of protocol if everyone takes a moment to actually look at what's happening here. She gestured to Sonia and Zara's joined hands, where their resonance created patterns that ripple through quantum space. Your prophecies speak of bridges between species. Your scientists claim humans lack quantum potential. Yet here we stand, watching the impossible become possible through cooperation instead of conquest. The Admiral speaks wisdom, the Oracle intoned. The prophecies do not command, they illuminate possibilities. And I see great possibility here. But the traditions, Vex began. Will adapt, Zara interrupted, as they always have. The real question is whether they'll adapt through peaceful revolution or violent upheaval. She addressed the gathered councils, her voice carrying the weight of both royal authority and newfound purpose. I stand ready to renounce my claim to the quantum throne. But know this, any attempt to separate me from my chosen resonance partner will be considered an act of war, not just against Earth, but against the future itself. Silence fell across quantum space as the implications settled. Sonia stood tall beside her princess, their combined energy patterns telling a story more powerful than words. Change was coming, ready or not. Finally, the oracle spoke. The prophecies speak of choice points, moments when the future branches like quantum possibilities. This is such a moment. Her pure form turned to Vex. The question is not whether to allow this change, but how to guide it. The First Minister's crystalline form shifted through complex patterns of calculation. And if we refuse, if we extract the princess by force, then, Admiral Wong said quietly, you'll learn exactly how quickly humans can adapt quantum principles to defensive purposes. After all, you've given us a perfect example of quantum resonance to study. The threat hung in quantum space, elegant in its simplicity. Sonia felt Zara's approval through their bond. Humanity proving yet again that lack of traditional power didn't mean lack of options. As the councils argued and negotiated, Zara's mental voice whispered through their resonance. Whatever happens next, know that you've changed everything. We've changed everything, Sonia corrected, squeezing her hand. Together. The future hung in balance, prophecies and traditions colliding with progress and possibility. But standing there, quantum patterns dancing between them, Sonia knew they'd already won the most important victory, proving that boundaries were meant to be transcended and that the strongest bonds were those freely chosen. Now they just had to convince everyone else. The Peace Summit began not in the grand chambers as planned, but in the quantum-suppressed embassy where a princess and her guard had changed the course of two civilizations. Sonia stood watch as representatives from Earth and the Aetherian Empire argued over the implications of human Aetherian quantum resonance. The technical possibilities alone are staggering, Earth's chief scientist declared, her holoform gesturing at the data displays. If humans can achieve quantum harmony with Aetherians, entire new fields of research open up. Research that could destabilize the entire quantum framework of our society. First Minister Vex countered, though his opposition seemed more reflexive than convinced. Zara, still drawing strength from her connection with Sonia, addressed the gathered delegates. Change is already here. The only question is whether we'll shape it or be shaped by it. The oracle's pure form shimmered in agreement. The prophecies speak of transformation through union, not just of quantum fields, but of perspectives. Her multidimensional gaze settled on Sonia. Perhaps our human friend would share her insight. All eyes turned to Sonia. Protocol dictated that guards should be seen, not heard. But protocol, like so many other boundaries, had already been transcended. On Earth, she began carefully, we have a concept called convergent evolution. Different species developing similar traits independently because they work. Maybe quantum resonance isn't about one species being more advanced. Maybe it's about finding harmony that was always possible, just waiting for the right minds to connect. Poetic, Vex noted, but hardly a basis for policy. No. Admiral Wong's hologram sparked with interest. Humanity's greatest strength has always been adaptation. We don't just copy advanced technology. We understand it, improve it, find applications its creators never imagined. Working together, humans and Aetherians could revolutionize quantum science. Or destroy everything we've built, an Aetherian counselor warned. Or build something better, Zora countered. She stood, her crystalline form catching light even through the suppression field. I propose a new form of alliance, not just treaties and trade agreements, but a genuine exchange of knowledge and culture, starting with a joint quantum research initiative, led by those who've already proved its potential. She reached for Sonya's hand. The moment they connected, their resonance pattern emerged, stronger than ever despite the dampening field. But this time, they controlled it together, creating harmonics that rippled through quantum space like music. The oracle's form brightened. The prophecies speak of a song between stars, a harmony that breaks chains of tradition to forge bonds of choice. She turned to the Earth delegates. Your species lacks our historical burden of prophecy. What do you see in this moment? Admiral Wong smiled. Opportunity. Hope. A future where different species don't just coexist, but collaborate. Transform. Evolve together. Evolution can be dangerous, Vex noted, but his tone had shifted from opposition to consideration. So is stagnation, Zora countered. We call ourselves masters of quantum science, yet we've let fear of change limit our potential. Meanwhile, humanity has grown from planetary civilization to galactic power in mere centuries because they embrace change. Through their bond, Sonya felt Zora's next words before she spoke them. I renounce my claim to the quantum throne. Gasps echoed through multiple dimensions. But, Zora continued, her voice carrying both authority and vision, I claim a new role, ambassador of change. Earth has offered to host a joint quantum research initiative. I will lead it, working to unlock the full potential of human-Aetherian cooperation. She squeezed Sonya's hand. With my quantum resonance partner as co-leader, demonstrating through action what our species can achieve together. Silence fell as the implications settled. Then the oracle spoke. The prophecies are not chains to bind us, but lights to guide us. They spoke of change coming through unlikely bonds. Now we must choose, resist and break, or adapt and grow. The negotiations that followed were intense, but the outcome was never really in doubt. Earth's adaptability combined with Aetherian wisdom offered too much potential to ignore. Treaties were signed, agreements forged, and a new era of cooperation began. Months later, Sonya stood with Zora on the observation deck of the new Quantum Harmony Institute, watching Earth's sunset paint the sky in colors that refracted beautifully through her partner's crystalline form. Having regrets? Sonya asked, noting how Zora's gaze lingered on the stars where her homeworld lay. About giving up a throne to revolutionize quantum science and stay with my impossibly noble human. Zora's form pulsed with amusement. Never. Though I do miss making you blush with protocol violations. Who says you've stopped? Their resonance sparked between them, stronger than ever. They'd learned to control it now, to use their connection to push the boundaries of quantum science in ways neither species had imagined possible. The first human-Aetherian research teams were already making breakthroughs, proving that different perspectives could find harmonies in the very fabric of reality. The Oracle visited yesterday, Zora mentioned casually. She says the prophecies are shifting, showing new possibilities. And does that worry you? Zora's laugh chimed like crystal bells. My dear Sonya, don't you understand yet? We are the new possibility. Every quantum breakthrough, every moment we prove that different species can harmonize rather than clash, we're writing our own prophecy. She turned to face her partner, her form glowing with joy and purpose. The real question is, are you ready for what comes next? Sonya pulled her close, their quantum fields merging in that now familiar dance of impossibility made real. Together, she said simply. Together, Zara agreed, as their combined resonance painted new patterns across the quantum fabric of reality. Above them, Earth's stars emerged one by one, distant, mysterious, full of possibility. Just like the future they were building, one quantum harmony at a time. The prophecies might have spoken of change, but the choice to embrace it had been theirs. And that perhaps was the greatest revelation of all.